Brunch, the daily morning show where we talk about the latest topics in entertainment. I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper.
I'm Shannon Coffey.
I'm Allie Colbert.
And I'm Lucas Sim. Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome back, Allie.
Welcome back. We missed you so much.
Thank you. I was on vacation. I was just home at my apartment watching TV for a week.
Yeah, you're finally watching The Crown.
I know. I watched The Crown and I watched Assassination of Gianni Versace.
On vacation.
On vacation. So today we're going to talk about Mindy Kaling's take on gender parity in Hollywood, Wicked's 15th anniversary celebration, and a new study that compares sex to live music events. Plus, One Vote at a Time founder Sarah Ullman joins the table to discuss the importance of voting in the November midterms.
Yeah.
Thank you. A new social love fest has surfaced, and we are here for it. Kim Kardashian posted a throwback pic with the caption, "Drew Barrymore was my everything." Kim also commented on a Kris Jenner post saying, "I was obsessed with Drew Barrymore and her thin eyebrows." This admiration goes both ways after Barrymore reposted Kim and shared a video raving about her perfume. Let's take a look.
I'm in my kitchen and I have a new piece of fruit. Although it's actually Kim Kardashian's Kimoji perfume, and I have to say, this is cool packaging. This is super inventive. The scent is beautiful. It seems like this makes you want to have more unroll and unveil as the collection keeps going. Thank you for sending this to me. This is awesome.
I mean, who cares about the Kavanaugh hearing? That is amazing.
Yeah. I was like, does Drew realize that, like, Kim sent that to, like, thousands of people, though? You know what I mean?
I think she does feel like a special thing with Kim, knowing that Kim, like, loves her and, like, idolized her growing up. Because, like, Kim wouldn't send that to Drew Barrymore. Like, she's not in her circle.
No, but I think they probably send it to, like, a press list of people, right?
But then Jen Aniston isn't getting it. Lucy Liu isn't getting it. She was the only Charlie's Angel.
True. Very
Maybe
true.
I think Justin Theroux got some, too.
Maybe they got it and they didn't make a video.
That's what I'm saying.
And they were like,
No,
ew,
I
what's
don't
this
think
moldy
so.
peach? It looks weird, right? Why does that peach have a white, like, drippy top?
It looks like icing.
Yeah,
Is
it's
a
just
peach
icing on
supposed
a
to be
peach.
a butt?
Yeah, well, it's her butt, right?
Okay.
Oh, it's
so it's
her butt
icing
with
on
cum.
a butt. Oh, okay.
Icing on a butt.
Oh,
Got it.
yeah.
Stick
Icing.
to your roots, you know?
Yeah.
Stay true, yeah.
I think it is funny. Like,
Stick
their pairing is funny to me. Like, Drew Barrymore, Kim Kardashian cannot seem more opposite in my mind.
Could
So,
you
like,
imagine them having a
like,
conversation?
it was like, did you see my news Insta story?
I've never been kissed.
That's exactly. Like, it's like, that's it. Like, it just, I'm trying to imagine young Kim Kardashian loving Drew Barrymore, which is interesting that was her favorite of the Charlie's Angels. I think it reveals
was
something
my
about you.
favorite growing
She
up.
was?
Nope. Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
Lucy Liu.
Ew,
Whoa.
don't be rude.
Cameron Diaz was the most basic.
Mine was-
Oh,
Yeah, how
she
did
was
y'all-
so
she
much
was
fun.
fun.
She loved to dance. She, like, surfs and smokes weed.
She had Spider-Man undies.
Yeah, she's dope.
That part.
Lucy Liu did her own stunts, badass,
No, Lucy
so
Liu
smart.
definitely.
She was my favorite.
Lucy Liu is every lesbian's favorite.
Which makes sense. Which really makes sense there. Yeah, I just find it so funny. Like, this pairing is so strange to me. I just because I feel like Drew Barrymore seems so, like, down to earth, like
It's true.
lays
See, it
around the lawn.
doesn't seem
and just,
that
like,
odd to me because they're both California girls, and I think there's like a similar sensibility about them, even in their demeanors. Like when you hear Kim talk, she is like also very chill and Cali and stuff. Like she does. Have you heard her talk?
yeah.
Of course, I heard her talk.
Yeah.
We've never heard Kim Kardashian talk, actually. That's a really weird fact
Have we
that
ever
I'm just
heard
realizing.
Kim Kardashian speak?
The way you're looking at me, you're like,
No, because I just don't think when I hear Kim, I hear like the vowel, like Calabasas.
Right.
With Drew, I guess I'm trying to understand.
that just sounded like Drew Barrymore when you did that.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
But their interests seem so different. And I know I don't know them personally, but I feel like we know Kim more just because we watch her on TV, reality TV. But like, Drew Barrymore just doesn't seem like they have the same interests. Anyway, I think it is more of a flatter than like clearly Kim K was a fan of hers and she's just giving her a shout out like, love your perfume. I doubt Drew Barrymore will ever wear that
Drew
perfume.
Barrymore probably finds it hilarious that Kim likes her. Like,
Yeah.
she's
Totally.
probably like, what the hell is this? You
What
know,
if
like,
she made that video as a joke and she was like I don't do a piece of fruit. LOL. And on the inside, she's like, this fucking weirdo
Right.
sent me
Right.
this perfume that I'm just gonna throw down the drain. Doesn't she have her own perfume line?
A flower.
Like,
I think
yeah,
called like
right?
Flower or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a whole line with CoverGirl a couple years ago
Oh.
as well.
She's fun. I mean, Wedding Singer is a great movie.
Oh my
Never
God.
been kissed.
Julia
51st Dates.
Gulia.
Julia Gulia. Yeah.
51st Dates.
51st Dates.
The Waffle Houses? Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One, I love it that one time he comes in and he does the thing like if you put in here, you make the door. She's like, I don't know where you grew up. You can't just touch people's
Yeah.
food. He's like, whoa. Like, that was such an intense
Does
scene.
anyone know what we're talking about?
Anyone know
You guys have seen Fifty First Dates. It's literally on television once a week.
It's
Yeah.
so good, and it's on my TV. I play it on my TV.
Right.
Yeah, no. I mean, she's beloved, and I love this. Have you seen the Santa Clarita show though? It
Yeah,
looks kinda weird.
obviously Santa Clarita Diet. I love it.
Did you watch it?
You do.
I'm obsessed with it.
Is
You
it
like
good?
it?
Yeah, it's like so stupid.
You
but I
shouldn't
love
watch it.
No.
No,
you
it is-
should watch
no,
it.
you shouldn't watch it. She's gonna be scared.
I think this is a perfect like
No.
intro to like.
I don't think you. It's
not like-
the goal. It's like there's lots of blood and she's
But
eating
it's
people.
so fake though.
Oh no, Brittany! Brittany's gonna be like, ah! No, yeah.
Maybe.
Brittany got scared when she watched like Muppets Halloween. Like, she's like, oh no, they mentioned nighttime.
Like, Hocus Pocus is still.
I don't know why they had to put them in scary costumes. That's all I'm saying. I'm not
think
afraid of Kermit, but
that's
when he
not
has a
the
hood
one.
on, I'm like, it's terrifying. Moving on.
When he has a hood on, I'm like, believe women.
Moving on, Mindy Kaling is opening up about gender equality in Hollywood. In a recent interview with Variety, the Ocean's 8 star talks about the positive shift she's seen in the wage gap and diversity in entertainment in the industry. On pushing for diversity in hiring crews, Kaling says, it used to be convincing people, but now you don't have to convince people. They know. I don't know whether it's a fear of being shamed publicly or litigation, but whatever it is, it's working.
Well, I'm glad we're peer pressuring people into
Yeah.
believing in
Hey,
others.
whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Honestly, if people now feel like they have to act right and pay women equally because they're worried they're going to get sued,
Right.
whatever it takes. Like,
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, which she mentions is because she's been the showrunner of her own show, the Mindy Project, and she's doing the Four Weddings and a Funeral for Hulu. Is that the dream is one day that she will be paid as much as a white male showrunner who've had the same amount of work as her. But the thing is, if these executives, if these producers are required to put people of color and women as their writers, those people will grow and become producers and co-producers, executive producers, and eventually be able to be more showrunners. We get more. So whatever it's to take, whatever has to happen, because eventually we'll finally have a chance. We don't need to force people to do it. It'll just be natural.
yeah. At the Gracie Awards in 2016, she was quoted as saying, no man on my show makes more money than I do. So she's
Right.
been really outspoken about this issue for a number of years. And then in this recent Variety article, she's saying that she thinks as a showrunner, her salary is on par with white men.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to note that she is the exception, not the rule.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for women like her to continue to hire diverse staff and to make sure that trickles down, and so that we can see this going forward. Because right now there are a handful of women who are able to make more money, but it's not the rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, inclusion right.
Inclusion, right, are two words. And I was listening to a podcast called, I think it's called Script Notes that she was on, and she's had a really interesting story. She went to Dartmouth and kind of discovered herself as a writer, and then moved to here, and then with this play called Matt and Ben, when her and her friend played Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, that kind of got her discovered, and eventually, Greg Daniels discovered her, and so it was, and she basically got on because she was a woman of color on The Office, but she's worked really hard as a writer, and it's so hard for people like Mindy Kaling. So to see her now doing so well, I think inspires a lot of other people. And if you haven't listened to that interview, it's a podcast called Script Notes. It's really interesting.
She's really fascinating.
Yeah.
And I feel like now she did Wrinkle in Time with Oprah and Reese Witherspoon, and obviously both of those women have led the way as far as EPing projects and producing projects. And so Mindy Kaling, that trifecta was really interesting to see those three powerful women on a set together. And I wanted to know what their conversations were like, because I feel like they were planning how to take over media.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I read, this is not about that, but I read her book, and in her book there's a chapter of just weird dreams she's had, and I just think that's funny. There's no point to it. There's just she's one time I had a dream where I was jogging and there was a dog behind me and the dog had a retainer on. It was nothing serious, but I just have weird dreams all the time.
The only thing I remember from her books, the only thing that ever stayed with me was how much she hated when men wore dirty sneakers.
Oh my
She goes, it's 5 chapters of her being your shoes better look nice. And I was
She hates
Jesus.
that. She seriously hates that. And she thinks it takes so long for men to put on their shoes. She says when women put on their shoes, they just put them on. When men put on their shoes, they have to sit down there and they say, I'm going to put on my shoes, and it takes them 5 minutes.
That is incredibly accurate.
Why is that?
I don't know. I sit down. I I untie them if they're tied.
Why
And
does
I
it take
put them
them
back on. I make sure. I don't know. We're just lazy. I don't know.
them
We're
so
slow.
weird.
We're not as.
Yeah.
They're
we're
not good
as-
multitaskers.
We're not good. Oh, that's 100%
Yeah.
true.
So it's like
We're
they
not
could
good
just sit and
multitaskers.
focus on this
Yeah.
thing for 5 minutes.
Yeah, she talks about how like men's wardrobes, like men just grow up and wear like larger boy clothes, but they don't realize that they have to start dressing like men.
Yeah.
Whereas like, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
guys just wear like cargo shorts and like a t-shirt, and it's like that's what a little boy would wear.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It's weird what men get away with. Yeah, a lot of men I've met don't even know how to properly wipe their butts, and that sounds like a joke, but a lot of people don't.
They
Like
don't
a lot
know.
of men, there's been articles about this. They don't know how to properly wipe their own butts. And I'm like, this is crazy.
Lucas,
like,
why?
Yeah. Like, why are we the lesser sex when like they don't even know how to wipe their butt?
they can't wipe their ass, they can't put on shoes.
It's so wild.
Men are emotional, erratic people who can't wipe their butts. If we learned anything from yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't think men should be in higher office. I think we're too emotional. Yeah, I don't know. That is gross. But with Mindy Kaling, though, I think what's funny when she does these statements, which is so funny because, in the for four weddings and a funeral, she's changing where it's between African American woman and a British Pakistani man. And she talks about interracial marriage, interracial relationships, and like how like it is still taboo kind of. But she's like said this like it's not a charity project. These people are smoking hot. Like
Yeah.
don't come like I'm not doing this
Yeah.
for charity. Like yeah, they're interracial, but like they're hot actors. So,
Absolutely.
like, I thought that was
a
funny.
little weird though.
It was a little bit weird, but
She
it was.
sometimes comes off a little shallow to me when she's like, this isn't a charity project, they're hot. It's like, we can have people, like white people, diverse people who aren't hot also. The requirement to be hot on camera, not necessary.
I don't prefer for them to be
Hate
hot
seeing
if I have
ugly people on
options.
camera.
I know there's a lot of ugly people on camera, who are inspiring. I won't name them because they're so hideous, but like seeing them, I'm like, you know what?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh yeah, he's been microwaved way too many times.
I mean, come on.
Just stuck on
Yeah,
defrost.
I'm like, dude, get out of the microwave.
Like a squished hot pocket that we
Yeah.
refroze.
It's crazy.
It's stretched out.
But
Very
so
tall.
inspiring. If
Yeah.
they could put that face
Uh-oh, he's
on
a friend of the
camera.
show. He's a friend of the show.
No, bring
We're
him on.
canceled.
Yeah, it's okay. We can help chisel him out somehow. We'll do a makeover on the show for him.
He looks like an otter.
Yeah. He's fine. He's not watching. And if he is, I'm sure he's saying, so what? You
We
know?
learned
And
that
walks away.
this week.
Yeah.
of
He's
bullying.
confident.
He
Yeah.
is.
Anyway, Wicked may have opened on Broadway 15 years ago, but it continues to defy gravity. To celebrate, NBC will reunite the show's original leading ladies, Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel, for a concert special titled A Very Wicked Halloween, celebrating 15 years on Broadway. Singer Ariana Grande and a cappella group Pentatonics will also join for the tribute, set to air on October 29th. Guys, I'm so excited. I'm gonna be honest about this. I love Wicked. This is gonna be really cool. I'm really
I'm
excited.
geeking out as much as you are.
Yeah.
I listen to the soundtrack once a month, maybe.
Defying gravity when it comes on, still, I'll just like, one thing is like, if I'm on a plane or like a bus, I'll be like, let's make sure no one's really that close to me. I turn up the volume a little bit more and I just sit there like this and listen to and like literally mouth the words like, I hope you're happy now that you're choosing this. I hope you're happy. You learn torture costs forever. I hope you think you're clever. I'm like,
For me, For Good is the
Oh
breakout
my God.
song, and I will like silently sing that in the mirror, both parts
Right.
to myself,
yeah.
and like harmonize with myself.
So in high school, like a lot of the musical theater kids, a lot of these girls, they would sing For Good at their like
Yes.
goodbye, and I always was like, why can't I sing For Good with someone who wants to sing For Good with me? Like none of my friends would want to do, but like in my mind, I was like, we should sing For Good together.
You are
No.
so sweet.
Why you're really
I'm
even
gonna start
sweet
singing.
story?
Cutest little girl.
I know.
I like Wicked. I saw it once and I really enjoyed it, and I like some of the songs from it. But I'm just like kind of ready for new stuff.
No,
Well, they're just yeah, no, well, we
No.
love new Broadway shows.
I'm not. It's a great show.
It is good, but isn't it done?
No.
No, it actually performs over 100 like cities around the world,
Yeah.
and like
People still
make
fill
millions of
seats.
dollars. Yeah, so
They
no,
pay
I'm all
to-
for new Broadway musical. I'm just saying, like, to celebrate this musical has done a lot and been around for a long time. I remember my first time I went. I'm going to tell the story, then I'll be done. I was 10 years old. My uncle took me because he knew the director, Joe Mantello, which my uncle's on the show, Bruce Bozzi. So he brings me backstage, my younger brother Daniel. I'm sorry, just get with it.
Just go.
So we're walking backstage, and Daniel's just such a little, cute little kid. And I'm like Fat Lucas, and like I'm in my height, my peak of fatness. And Idina Menzel's there, and immediately picks up my younger brother and goes, "You're so cute." And I was like,
She didn't pick you up.
you're really good. She's like, "Thanks." And I was like, "Oh, I just wanted Tina Menzel to pick me up, but she won't because I was fat." Anyway, that was my Wicked story. Anyway, I really love Wicked.
That's weird. That's a very odd relationship with the musical.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you remember the video of Idina Menzel singing in Times Square and she misses that note massively?
No.
Holy
No.
shit. If you want to pee your pants, Google Idina Menzel misses note on YouTube after this. It is so fucking funny, man. That makes me so happy.
Adele Dazeem.
But she like
Adele
never
doesn't.
misses notes.
Yeah,
No,
I'm sure
she's
someone
so
didn't bring her
talented.
her tea. You
Yes.
know? That
Her
was
tea.
And it's on them, not her.
Yeah, I blame other
Oh, you
people.
have a new mug too.
Yes, it says hangry.
Lots happen.
Angry.
Yeah.
But you know what's at?
I leave the show for 1 week. You guys are like, new mugs, new us.
New
and you have
us.
to wear this t-shirt.
This is our
We
uniform.
wear this every day now until November.
Till November, of course. But you know who never missed a note is Kristen Chenoweth. And I don't know if you guys watched Trial and Error. It was a really great NBC comedy
funny.
that not a lot of people watch. But she was the star of it this past season. And the best when she breaks down the song and hits that note, that high note, and you're like, oh my, holy shit. Just like mini little Kristen Chenoweth can just like belt.
She can belt.
As a short person, though, I feel like Kristen Chenoweth kind of gives my people like an annoying rap.
Because she likes being
Yeah.
picked
Because
up.
she's
Because
so
she's
little.
just like, pick me up, And I'm like, we're not all like that. You know, like we have different energies.
You asked me to pick you up every day.
That's something I told you to never say on the air.
You're calling her out. I'm gonna call you out.
Also, I think it's really rude that you continue to do that in front of Lucas, who dearly wants to be picked up.
You want me to? Okay.
Maybe later.
After the show.
All he wants to do is be held. God damn it, Chloe.
Told me.
Pick him up.
But Ariana Grande performing is cool. This is my only thing. I don't want her to be Alphaba in the movie that they're making. I know the movie keeps getting pushed back. I want a I want a nobody to be cast as the lead. I feel like it's a cool way to discover someone new. Ariana Grande is so talented, but I don't think she should be Alphaba in the movie that they're
I
making.
want somebody from the stage musical. There's been so many
Yeah,
amazing performers
absolutely.
that have cycled out of that role. Like they should definitely choose one of those.
Let her do this. I don't want to hear about Pete Davidson's penis anymore.
Right.
Let her just do her thing. We'll get a new person for this. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's done.
I agree.
All right, we all agree. And now, in a study looking at the power of live events, Live Nation found that people were 10% more likely to value live music over sex. The study reports that 71% of people surveyed believe the moments that give them the most life are live experiences.
As opposed to sex, I guess, which is not
Yeah.
a live
Taped.
experience.
It's always taped.
Pre-taped, yeah.
Pre-taped.
I value almost any experience over sex.
Oh.
I'm joking.
Don't most people have sex at concerts?
Oh.
Well, you do, yeah.
Wait. What?
No, yeah, go to concerts or Britney. It's a good
Like, give me
time.
like as like okay, I don't
know, like when you like Coachella and Burning Man,
There's
like
a
those
different
sort of.
way to tell people you have chlamydia.
I'm on medication for it. Okay. No, I just feel like
It is on the rise, though, so get tested.
1 in 4 New Yorkers have an STD,
It's
guys.
serious.
Really?
The back of
Serious
this shirt just says,
Yeah.
I will get tested.
Yeah. No, seriously, get tested now.
No, I just feel like I feel like music and sex are always intertwined, that this is sort of an interesting study. And it's done by Live Nation, who puts on musical events.
Totally.
So it's like a weird promotional thing for them to be like, look, don't have sex, come listen to music.
Or it's
just a
making
weird-
those kids who don't have a lot of sex.
Be like, you're not missing
You're
out.
not missing out.
That's-
Keep going to those
that's
concerts.
probably what it is.
Yeah, I'm like, have these people not had good sex? That's what I'm reading into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the problem.
Wait, sorry, I keep going off track. I just saw that episode of Friends where they did food or sex. They
Wait,
Oh, yeah.
choose food or sex.
Well, I need food to live, so that's not fair.
No, come on. You know what it means. It's just like food or sex. You just pick.
I honestly, and I've had, and this is, I think,
Oh, this is hard for you.
I think Chloe will pick the same food. I think we'll both pick the same. We love
Would you
food.
guys pick food or sex?
This is hard.
Okay.
What do you choose?
I would choose TV.
Woo!
Yeah,
TV.
yeah, choose TV.
Wow.
TV, all the friends you need are on there.
Yeah, do you have the sex on the TV? You have the
That's true.
food on the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also in a relationship with my television.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my TV feeds me in so many ways.
Live music doesn't entertain me as much as food.
I was gonna say, do you guys go to a lot of live music?
I go to some. Even in this article, with this Live Nation study, they were like, people go to concerts and live events once a year because they need connection. And I was like, that doesn't seem like a lot
Yeah.
to me.
It's
Once
not.
a year? That seems on the lower side.
Yeah, no, I feel like I said, I just went to a musical last night. My brother's at NYU, which was really cool. And I like when you go to live things, you realize, oh, this is a fun experience. Like everyone's in this room, you're watching these people like literally doing it live, singing, dancing, and anything can happen. And you do feel, I get it, but I don't know. I thought this study was just it was a little bit strange.
Yeah, I will say that when I travel, I've traveled solo a handful of times, and I do love to go listen to live music for that reason. Because when you're by yourself, if you go to a live music event, you undoubtedly meet friends and people to like have like fun with in that night.
That's
so I
so
get
good.
like getting off your phone and going and connecting with people. I get maybe that subline of this study,
Right.
just like it's about connecting with other people.
Okay, so on that note, what are some things you guys do that you find to be sort of thrilling and makes you feel alive?
Traveling solo.
Traveling solo.
Specifically solo for sure. Setting things on fire.
Yeah.
Oh God, I love
Yeah.
fire.
I love that.
I love just
Fire
setting
is
things on
Hate-
fire.
fun.
I love watching things burn.
Trolling James Comey on Twitter, that gets me really riled up.
Oh, that makes me angry.
Yeah, but no, I would say honestly, like this is a cheesy one, but like improv class really does.
yeah.
You're really like you don't know anyone. You're forced to interact with these people. Like try to be funny, let go of your inhibitions, and you're all learning new stuff. So like everyone sucks, and it's just, but it's fun, and it's kind of get that
Yeah.
connective aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you put your phone away too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say like rock climbing
rock climb?
or having unprotected sex while watching Teen Mom in the background. It's like, oh my God, you know?
Yeah. Aren't you sad though, because you can never be a teen mom now?
Oh.
Yeah.
You missed the boat.
I miss
You're
that.
too old.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're
Now,
old.
if you had a baby, it would just be like, appropriate. We believe you could do it. Probably not a bad idea, I guess.
Yeah, no. If you said I'm pregnant, you'd be like, okay, like it's cool. Like,
Yeah,
you're mom.
you should
Like,
raise it.
I know.
No.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Kind of sad when you like leave your teens. You're like, no one's gonna be like, oh, shocked. Yeah.
I think people would still be shocked.
No.
Anyway, that's sort of how I watched The Biggest Loser eating a zebra cake. It's sort of also
What's a
thrilling.
zebra cake?
Zebra cakes are so
Yeah,
good.
a zebra cake. Little Debbie.
God, I can't
Where's your
believe
childhood?
you
What
What are
said
you
zebra
saying? A
cake.
Zebra cake.
It's a little
You know
Debbie.
You don't know.
You don't know it?
I think I do.
know
Nick
it.
Lucas doesn't know what a zebra cake
What's
is?
a zebra cake?
I was busy
It's a
eating
little
brownie
Debbie
bites.
snack.
Oh my God,
And it's a little.
delicious.
What's a little Debbie?
A little Debbie, I know.
Oh my
Did you
God.
do you
Debbie.
guys know what a zebra cake is?
Kidding.
All right, so it's yellow cake with frosting, and then the yellow cake, so it's like a little sandwich,
Oh,
like
love it,
frosting.
love it.
And then on the outside, it's like all white frosting with like black chocolate lines. So it's a
Oh,
zebra.
You can get it at literally any bodega, and they are
I've seen that before.
50 cents.
I'm gonna get that.
They're 50 cents. We're gonna have them on the show
They
on
were
Monday.
50 cents in your day.
No, they're still 50 cents.
And she's back.
No, back in my day, they were a nickel.
It was a nickel, and I'd go to the ice cream store and I'd get myself a zebra cake.
I can't believe you don't know what Little Debbie is.
No, I know what Little Debbie is. I'm kidding.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
sure you do.
on that note, now is our time for our special guest. Sarah Ullman is the founder of One Vote at a Time, a political action committee which creates campaign ads for progressive candidates. Recently, Ullman was featured in Variety's 2018 Power of Women New York Impact List, which highlights activists making a difference. Let's take a look at what One Vote at a Time is all about. Everyone, please give a warm Bill Bunch welcome to Sarah Ullman.
welcome.
Sarah, thank you so much for being with us. You are a filmmaker, but you also have a background in politics. You worked for Senator Murphy when he was a congressman back in the day.
I was an intern.
Intern.
Yeah.
I'm going to say work because I
Yeah.
like to say intern. I worked for HBO, but I just interned there. What was your inspiration for starting One Vote at a Time? Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever had one of those moments where you're crying on your couch and you're so angry and tired? And
More often
Scared.
than I like to admit.
Yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah. It was one of those moments that made me start it. I was after the Pulse shooting in 2016, in June of 2016. I was like crying on my couch, and I was watching Senator Murphy filibuster for gun safety legislation, Chromecasting C-SPAN, and I don't know, I was tired of feeling like that. I had had enough. I was done feeling sad and helpless and frustrated about gun violence. It was time to do something else. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us exactly what One Vote at a Time does and how that has come about.
Sure. So we are a team of filmmakers, of female filmmakers specifically, and we make free campaign videos for candidates who believe in gun safety legislation. So we have traveled all over the country. We've gone to 10 states this year. We made that video that you just saw at the beginning of the year, but now we have finished our physical production at 10 states. And we meet with candidates and we make free videos for them.
Yeah.
And these videos, I mean, campaign ads are expensive.
Yeah.
So how do you guys get funding to keep operating?
Sure. So we get our funding from mostly from a director named Joss Whedon, and we also have done some crowdfunding online as well to help supplement that. We operate in 10 different states, as I said, and they all have different campaign finance laws. I feel like I have a minor in campaign finance right now. So different configurations of donors for different states are required by law. But yeah, mostly from individuals.
Yeah, and you guys are technically considered a super PAC.
Yeah.
On the federal level, we are a super PAC. Yes, very scary.
Right, that's why I wanted to call, because I know that kind
Yes.
of makes people think, so I wanted you to kind of explain what that means for you guys.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's a very powerful political tool, right? It allows you to raise money in unlimited sums and to then make different kinds of videos. On the federal level, it means that you can't coordinate with any campaigns. And so on the federal level, we're a super PAC, but on the state level, we are what's called a coordinated PAC or a regular PAC, and that means that there are limits on the amount of money. I knew none of this
Right.
when I was crying on my couch. I just had an idea, and I wanted to do something to help make change. And you eventually get enough lawyers involved, and you realize, like, dang, I guess I gotta have a PAC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you say is the biggest challenge making all these different ads for different campaigns?
Just the, I think that it's really important to me to make a video for each candidate that like reflects who they are, and that's an accurate reflection of what they believe and their campaigns. And at the scale at which we're doing it, we're literally making videos for hundreds of candidates across the country. It requires a really finely tuned system to sort of process people through that system while at the same time allowing them to have their own, their own ideas be reflected in the video and have it feel original to them. That's definitely the biggest challenge.
And because I was reading about you, how exactly do you help candidates craft their messages? We're realizing how important messaging is, and you've even said, especially with gun safety laws, it varies by state. If you go to North Carolina versus Florida versus Michigan or whatever. So how exactly do you work individually to get that candidate, like, this is what your message is, let's take it out there?
Yeah. So the first thing I'll say is that we're really pragmatic about it. So although the through line for who we support is gun violence and gun violence prevention and gun safety legislation, we don't require that candidates make videos about that subject because we recognize that not everybody wants to talk about it. It's not necessarily useful for every candidate to talk about it. And we're really pragmatic. Like, I just want to help good people get elected. So the first thing that we do is we listen to them. Is we have, once we accept them into our program, we have what's called a creative call where we just say, like, what do you want? What's useful to you? What will be useful to you? What do you want to talk about? And from there, we look to anchor their talking points in a personal story. So I'm tired of hearing people, talk about
generic policy. I want to hear how policy is impacting that person and why that person has chosen to run for office.
And you guys have had a lot of success. In the Virginia House of Delegates, you had 10 of 19 candidates get elected. 15 of those were like flipping the seat. So what is the importance for you of focusing on those local politics?
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Nothing is happening with gun violence prevention at the federal level
It's
right
not,
now.
unfortunately.
Yeah, it's not, but it is happening on the state level, and it's a battleground that's very important for this issue in particular because states have a huge role to play in terms of their expansion of background checks or concealed carry reciprocity laws, which are terrible. So the states are where it's at right now in terms of gun violence prevention. And it also, frankly, the races, those races are the ones that could use our help. Somebody who's running for Congress or, they don't necessarily need my free video.
Right.
But somebody who's running for the state legislature, it could be the difference between a win and a loss. And that's why.
So a lot of times they don't have the funding or name recognition, right?
Totally.
So they need
Totally.
extra help.
And how exactly do you guys then decide who to make campaigns for, considering there's many people that...
Yeah, we have a political advisor named Irene Chin, and she's wonderful. She's worth her weight in gold. She's like an angel, and she has helped us connect with candidates. So we sometimes work with the state party to talk to the candidates that way. A lot of the times they find us and they reach out to us. Sometimes it's word of mouth recommendations, and then we interview them, we vet them, we talk to them on the phone for a half an hour or an hour each, and we ask them questions to see if they'd be a good fit for us. So
Yeah. In 2018, well, you have made an ad for someone who I really admire and love, Stacey Abrams, who's running to be governor of Georgia, who is fantastic, who's that's in a little larger scale for statewide office. Looking at 2018, what issues are you seeing that candidates are finding most important that their constituents really want to hear about?
Sure. Two that I think you might expect are education and healthcare. Certainly, we've worked in a lot of states that haven't expanded Medicaid, and that's a serious issue for a lot of those people. The one that I didn't expect and that I think is really, really interesting is water quality. I've heard candidates talk about issues with Gen X in their water in North Carolina, and obviously Flint, and we've done videos in Michigan, and we're working with the Attorney General candidate in Michigan who is running on a campaign saying this is not okay, and in 11,000 communities in Michigan are poisoned by this chemical named PFAS. And so you're seeing it, I've seen it in literally every state we've been in. People are having water quality issues, and it's not just Flint, it's everywhere, and it's not talked about, and I didn't expect it.
That's really interesting. Yesterday was obviously a really big day politically for a lot of people. Do you think all of the attention around the Kavanaugh hearing is going to have any effect for you guys and donors, or like how will that affect you guys going forward, do you think?
Yeah, I think that people are more and more paying attention to the structural injustices that exist. And I think that you watch, that man sit in that chair, and you watch the anger seethe out of him, and him explode and be rude to specifically female senators who are questioning him. And you start to get a better understanding of the actual structural injustices. And I think in order to address the structural injustices, it's going to take a massive amount of people, massive amount of voters specifically. And so I think it's really going to affect us just simply by helping people understand the consequences of their participation and of their lack of participation. We're seeing the consequences of lack of participation now, and the only thing that's going to fix it is a massive amount of people who show up.
Speaking of which, that goes to my questions. So in 2016, we learned afterwards that Secretary Clinton lost 4 states by 1% or less, and essentially the Electoral College by 77,000 votes in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Do you think now people are getting, especially people our age, that every vote does count and does matter?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're seeing in a very visceral way the results of, as I said, of a lack of participation. And I think it's tough sometimes when you look at the fact that rural voters hold more power.
Yeah.
For example, in this Senate confirmation, 30% of the country holds 70% of the Senate seats.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating. And so you see people frustrated by their vote not mattering as much. But I think that the only way that you change that is by showing up. Mm-hmm. So it's sort of this paradox for people, and I would encourage people not to get discouraged, because the only thing that's going to get us out of this is participation.
Right. Yeah. And also representation. You helped elect the first openly transgender elected official in Virginia State House. Do you find that more LGBT, more people of color are running, and people are more excited to vote for these people?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's another transgender woman running this year that we worked with in Colorado. Her name is Brianna Titone, and she's an amazing candidate. And there's women and people of color across the country who are standing up to be like, hell no. Like, this shall not stand. I will not tolerate this in my community. And it's honestly, it's the only thing that keeps you going, is to meet all those other people who feel the same way you do, and to realize that you're not alone in this.
Yeah. So for people listening, watching, what is the best way, do you think, that what can they do to get involved?
In One Vote at a Time, or in general?
Both.
Yeah. Vote, please.
We have our shirts on.
Yes,
Make sure you're registered.
Yeah, please do vote. That's the number one thing. I think that there's enormous power in our votes, and people should vote. If they want to get involved in One Vote at a Time, they can visit our website. We have a contact form if you're a female filmmaker or a non-binary filmmaker. We would welcome hearing from you. We accept contributions on the internet. Irene would be mad at me if I didn't say that. But also, I would encourage people, filmmaking is what I know how to do, and it's just what I knew how to do when I was sitting crying on my couch. So wherever you are, wherever it is that you sit, what do you know how to do? I would think about that, and then, make steps towards using your skills to help make a difference.
I love that. That's really great advice.
So you're saying that writing snarky tweets at James Comey is useful?
I think,
as long as I vote too?
Yeah, exactly. The combo. Yeah,
do what I know.
Superpower.
Yeah.
That's
your art.
My art is tweeting snarky stuff at James Comey, and I will vote. How is that?
I'll take it.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much for being here. This really was a pleasure. It was so great talking to you. To learn more about Sarah's mission, visit www.onevoteatatime.us, and don't forget to register to vote. That's all from us. We'll see you tomorrow, Monday, same time, same table. I'm sorry, guys.